I was crying publicly. Everybody saw me crying. And do you know why I was crying? Hello, beautiful people, and welcome once again to Victorious Living with Juliet. On this channel, we are on a ride to victorious living, and without wasting your time, you are highly welcome once again to the first episode of my gratitude series, and I have titled it Change Your Perspective. So, before I continue, I want you to take a look at this glass. Right. Right. So, what do you say? Look. Right. Do you know that some people looked at that glass and they saw it as a glass of wine that I have drank from or I have been drinking from in the course of making my video. Another set of people were they're looking at the glass. They were looking at the shiny, the shiny glass, paying attention to the shape, or even maybe paying attention and checking out the quality of the glass. Some other people also paid attention to the shape, the shape of the cup. It's quite broad here and tiny there, for you to grab. Some other people paid attention to none of this. They were looking at the contents of this glass. What is she drinking? Is that wine? Or is that juice? Or, or is that a colored drink? And some other people were a little bit judgmental. And they were like, can you please go straight to the point and stop showing off with a glass of wine? And I hope you're not one of them. There are some other people that just looked at this glass and saw a half glass of juice or wine or whatever. They don't care what is in it. And do you know there are still some other people who looked at this glass and they looked at it as half full. A glass that is half full, with wine or whatever is in it. It's actually a wine anyway. And some other people looked at this cup, and they saw it as half empty. I said that again. Do you know that while some people looked at this glass and saw it as half full, like there's wine from here to here, it's halfway, some other people looked at this glass and they saw it as half empty. They were looking at it from the negative perspective, whereas some other people were looking at it from the positive perspective, the perspective of where there is something, the filled part of the glass. While some people are looking at it like, oh, this glass is half empty. And the question is, when you look at the glass, do you see it as half empty or half full? Think about it. That is perspective. The reason why some people saw different things just with a glass of wine that I was carrying in my hand is because of our varied perspective. And what is perspective? When I had to check out, because I know those things, we know English, though English is not my first language, I think I have a reasonable knowledge of English. And I use the word perspective a lot in my day-to-day conversations. And for a very long time, I would say I've never really checked it out in the dictionary. So I picked the dictionary and I checked out the meaning of perspective. And what I saw was perspective simply means point of view or the way you see something. And it can also be used in arts, like visual arts and stuff like that. But that is not my interest today. My interest is the definition that talks about point of view, viewpoint, how you see things. And perspective could be influenced by your environment, your values, your beliefs, your culture, your gender, your association, your level of education, and stuff like that. But I am going to be talking about it from the point of view of Christianity. So in life, our cups may not be full, in that we don't have everything that we want or that we need, even. And to be honest with you, there is no one person that has a full cup. No one person has a full cup. Like you have everything you want and you have everything you need, and please show me the person, because there is no one person. Even the person up there that you are admiring or you're praying to be like has a lot of things that they want or they need. Human needs and wants are insatiable. When you get to a particular level, you're aspiring for the next. You're working hard for the next. You keep going. There is always something we don't have. Sometimes it could be an aspect of your health that is incomplete. It could be something. There is always something. Nobody has it all together. Now you have a cup. Your cup of life is not full. It is half, or even less than half, like this one, because I have drank a little bit from it. I've drank a little bit from it, right? It is entirely up to you to focus on this part, on what you have, and be thankful for it. Like if your eye is always on these empty parts, the parts the things you do not have, you're going to find it difficult to appreciate this one, this zone, the content, the one you have, what you have in your hand, what is working for you. If you're focusing on what is not working or the things you don't have, you're going to struggle and you find yourself extremely unhappy. You find yourself grumbling. You find yourself even holding yourself back because you know, of course, the law of attraction. When you are happy and you're happy and excited, you attract more, you attract good things to yourself. So it means that when you are appreciating God for this little that you have, you'll be attracting more and more and more and more. I'll tell you a story before I continue. So we have an alumni WhatsApp group. So from time to time, we have a call out weekend. The group administrators will come up with something like, this weekend is our call weekend. You're going to call 5 people from your class or from, of course, our sets. Call 5 people and try to catch up. So one of my classmates called me from America. And then in the course of our conversation about, old G's, old things that happened in secondary school, she remembered this event. And then she said to me, she's like, Juliet, do you remember back in, our junior WAEC days? The day our junior WAEC results were released? Do you remember? And she asked me that. I busted into laughter. I started laughing because I actually remember. So, oh, both started laughing. And she was like, Julia, what exactly was wrong with you? That you had 12 distinctions and one credit, just one credit. And instead of you to be happy and excited and jubilating or even dancing, you started crying. Should they catch me? You started crying. And I do remember. So in case you don't know what I'm talking about, you know WAEC is one big exam one big exam that you write in Nigeria and other West African countries at the end of your junior secondary school. So after doing 3 years in your junior secondary school, you have to do a big exam. It's a big exam because the questions are drawn from the 3 year of study. So you could get questions from when you were in year one, JS1, JS2, JS3. So you have to read everything you've learned in the 3 years to prepare for this exam. And it was a big, big exam. You do that exam to be able to go into the senior second. So I studied so hard for this exam. I actually aspired to get like a parallel distinction. But unfortunately, I didn't have the parallel distinction. I had one credit. And then I was so disappointed with myself to the point that I started crying. Like I was crying. I was crying publicly. Everybody saw me crying. And do you know why I was crying? I was crying because I was focusing on just that one credit that I had. Instead of being grateful for a whole 12 distinctions within my targets. Instead of me to focus on the 12 distinctions that I got, I was crying for one credit. Not even one pass, and not even one fail. Credits. And I was crying. Whereas some people that got 10 credits were jumping up. Hey, mommy, I passed! Calling their parents. People that got 4 distinctions were jumping up. People that even got 10 distinctions were celebrating. And me, I had 12. There was only one person who had 13 distinctions. And I had 12. And I was crying. Hey, God. I was crying. I'm sure most of my friends, they were so upset. They were so upset. I'm sure even the junior students, they were even upset as well. Comment on the comment section if you remember this. If you remember, if you're an Aztec alumni, you remember this thing I'm talking about. We laughed about it, and I was like, oh, that was foolishness, to be honest. That was absolute foolishness. But then, whenever the call ended, I had to sit down and reflect on it. And I'm like, wow, God, I'm really sorry. I was so ungrateful. How could I have been so ungrateful to have even achieved 12 distinctions? And I was crying for one credit. How disappointing. Like, that is actually disappointing. And do you know what? Some of us, some of you watching me now are like me. Then I'm no longer like that. So I'm no longer like that. I've grown. Like I'm a big girl now. I've grown. I've grown. You know what I mean? I've grown. I'm no longer like that. Actually, I'm no longer like that. But some of you watching me are like that. And even if I say I'm no longer like that, maybe I'm not to that extent, there are still some times when I felt personally, I felt to look at all the good things in my life and I'm focusing on maybe one or half things that is not working. Oftentimes, we focus on the parts of our life that are not working. We focus on the things we don't have. Whereas there are still something, there's no way you will tell me that your entire life, nothing is working. There's no way you can tell me that. There's no way. If you tell me, I will argue with you. You know why? Because you are seeing me, which means you are alive. You have some breath. Yes, you are seeing me, which means you also have sight. You are not blind, you can see. That is something to be thankful for. Maybe you haven't thought about it. Perhaps you don't live in your dream house yet. You've been working so hard to achieve this, dream, but it's not working. Or perhaps you don't ride the kind of car you want to ride. Or maybe there's a holiday of a lifetime that you really want to go for, you really want to go and enjoy. But you haven't got this privilege. Or you are looking at admission to higher institution, you want to study a particular course, but it's not just coming. You have written jam and jam and jam, it's not working. You even wrote jam this year and this year has gone again. Or there is always something we want or need or something we want to achieve and it hasn't come. Instead of beating yourself up all the time, your mind is on that. Shift your focus. Shift your focus. Shift your focus a little bit. Let's focus on the things you have. And you have access to this message I'm delivering right now because you have a smartphone. Do you know that if you don't have a smartphone or a smart device or a smart TV, you can see me talking about this on YouTube? Do you know how many people in the world who do not have access to a smartphone? hmm I'm sure you haven't thought about it. And the fact that you even have a smartphone, it means that somehow, you have access to electricity. Mm. Did you hear me well? you have access. You have access to electricity. Do you know that there are over 1.2 billion people in the world who do not have access to electricity? I'm not talking about access to constant electricity. I'm talking about access to electricity at all. Do you know that? You may be complaining, oh, where I am, we don't even have constant electricity, but you have access to it. You can charge your phone. But if you don't have electricity, you will not bother to buy a phone or even a smartphone or even the power bank you're using to power your phone. There is always something to be thankful for if you live the right direction. And then you're complaining, oh, this one is not working. Oh, this country this. Oh, this economy that. Economy is bad everywhere. And then you forget that you even have a place to sleep tonight. Like you have roof over your head. Do you know that there are over 24 million people in the world today who do not have a roof over their head? As night is falling, they are going into despair again. Hell, it's night again. Where am I going to sleep? But you don't have that bother because you have a place to sleep. You have your parents' house, you have your own house, you have your friend's house, you have somewhere you can sleep, and you have a comfortable bed to lie on, and rain doesn't have to fall on you in the night. That is something to be thankful for. Or you have even forgotten that right now you have a hope of what you're going to eat for lunch and what you're going to eat for dinner. And probably you are even sure you have already what you're going to eat tomorrow for breakfast. And then you forget that there are so many people in the world that do not have access to three-course meal in a day. Yeah. There are so many people that don't have access to three-course meal in a day. And yet you have all these things and you complain. Do you know that statistics has it that Over 850 million people go to bed every night hungry because they have no food to eat. And look at what is happening in the world. There is flood here. There is war there. There is a building collapse here. There is this happening there. Like there is no peace anywhere in the world. And you have been secured from January through February, March, April, May, June, July, all the way to December. And the year is gradually wrapping up. And you've been kept safe. And yet you don't find it a reason to be thankful? Oh, my sister and my brother, you need a change of focus. Should I give you Google to change your focus? You have to change your focus. You definitely have to change your focus. There is a lot to be thankful for if we look the right direction. Don't be like me, who is ignoring all the 12,000 12 distinction that I had, and I was crying. Though I was a little child at the time, I was only 13 or yeah, thereabouts. And I was crying for one credit. So God has blessed us with so many things. You have your children, you have your family, you have your friends, you have your church members, you have an incredible support system. These are things to be thankful for. In the night when you go to bed, lie in bed, hmm, and be thankful for the fact that you can even lie down on the bed. You can lie supine with a pillow and stay comfortable and sleep. Be thankful. Focus on the things you have, the things that you have in your hand. While you are still hopeful that He who has given you this small thing is able to keep increasing it until your cup runs over. And do you know the worst mistake that some people even make? Some people go, in addition to complaining and whining about everything, or thinking about everything, or being bothered about everything that is not working in their lives, or the things they don't have, they go as far as comparing their lives to that of others. Oh, God has done this for Naomi. God has done this for Patricia. God has done this for this. Look at this person living their best life. Oh, why not me? Oh my God. You're busy comparing yourself to someone else in whose life you're not. You're not wearing their shoes. You don't know what is in their cup and what is not in their cup. And you're busy comparing yourself, and then you're feeling sad, you're feeling unhappy. Oh, God has forsaken me. Oh, I have the most miserable life in the world. Oh, this, that. My sister, my brother, it is time to wake up. As you are launching into 2024, begin now to change your perspective. Like, begin now to make the decision that as you launch into in 2024, that you're going to be looking at things only from the positive point of view. In every tribulation, in every trial, there is a blessing to it. In every bad thing, there is good thing about it. If for nothing else, you're going to be taught resilience. You learn from it. You gain the experience. You grow with it. So there is always something to be thankful for, even in the midst of things not working the way you want them to work. So, my brother, my sister, stop comparing yourself with other people. Stop beating yourself up for things that did not work this year. Stop beating yourself up for things that you planned but couldn't achieve. You still have life. And as far as there is life, there is hope. 2024 is going to be a better year if you go into it with the right perspective, with the right attitude. It is going to be a better year. You know why? The law of attraction. When you are happy for the little you have, you're happy that you can see, you're happy that you can hear, you're happy for your health, you're happy for your children, you're happy for your church members, you're happy for your parents that are still alive, you're happy for the fact that you still have a job, even if they're not, you still have a job, you have something that you're doing, you have a trade. That thankfulness alone is going to make you keep you going. It's going to make you hopeful. And when you're hopeful, you're happy, you're going to attract better things to your life. And that way, you keep attracting. It's like magnets. You keep attracting. And I tell you what, you're going to get more and more and more and more. And before you know it, your cup, your cup will be overflowing. Your capacity will not even contain the blessing. And that is how 2024 is going to be for you if you believe. So begin now to change your perspective for 2024. Decide to view things only from the positive side. Look at it from from this side. Don't look at it from there to there. Look at it from the positive side, the content side, and watch your life flourish like it has never done in the past. So Let's call it a day for now. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to share it to your family and friends. And don't forget to stay tuned for our next episode on gratitude series. And until we meet again, stay blessed and keep winning. Bye bye.